Hello and welcome here to Talk FCB and welcome here to the match review of Barcelona against Roma. We are now into pre-season. It is the early hours of the morning, but somehow I am still here getting to grips with what has just gone on. 6 goals in that friendly, 4 on the side of Roma, 2 on the side of Barcelona. But I'm coming here with a positive review because you've got to take into account in these pre-season games, it is absolutely not about the result. It's about the performance, it's about the development of the team, those younger players coming in and trying to impress. And today I think we saw a Barcelona who competed, who dominated most of this game against what is a superior Roma side with the players they had out, with the experience they had in their team. Barcelona, I think today, played really well. We deserved a lot more than we got, and those late goals from Roma shouldn't distract us from what overall was a good performance. And it really did start in the best possible way for Barcelona. We lined up basically with Jasper Cillessen in goal, Semedo, Marlon, Longley the new signing, and Marc Cucurella getting his chance at left back to try to impress Ernesto Valverde. Into midfield then we had Sergio Roberto, who was in the sort of Busquets holding role. Really good to see him in midfield. I do like him there. I like him on the ball now. He has a lot of composure. He seems to have more confidence now in that midfield role. Alongside him then was Arthur and the much more advanced Rafinha. It was almost like Arthur and Sergio Roberto were the two holding players, happy to drop in, receive the ball, dictate the play, and then there was Rafinha getting on the end of things, making those advanced runs, and as we can see from the goal I'll come on to, he really did have a big impact in the final third. And then it was sort of front three. Vidal was more towards the left, Malcom over towards his favoured right hand side, and then Munir El Haddadi leading the line, not really in a number 9 role, but more in a sort of false 9 role, I would say, with Munir. And like I say, it was a perfect start for Barcelona. Rafinha converted what I think actually was a wonderful, wonderful goal. And it wasn't just about the finish, it wasn't just about the build-up. All round, it was absolute top quality from Barcelona and everybody involved. Sergio Roberto starts it, he makes one of those forward advancing runs that he can do when he plays in midfield. He plays an over-the-top ball towards Malcom, who cleverly backheels it. It's into the path of Munir and Rafinha. Both of those two combine, it's sort of a 1-2. Rafinha gets on the end of it, inside the box. It's a volley, an acrobatic type finish, and a really fantastic goal inside the first 6 minutes, and it was a great start from Barça. And just before I go on with the game in general, I do want to talk specifically here about Rafinha, because not only in this game was he very impressive in that first half, not only his goal, but he was involved in all manner of plays, getting involved in the final third in terms of shooting, in terms of passing. He had another shot as well inside that first half, which just skimmed the side of the post. It was really, really close to being a second goal for Rafinha, and he really has impressed in these opening 2 pre-season games. He was really good against Tottenham. He got 2 assists on that day. Now he's backed it up with a goal. He played the first half here. He looks fit, he looks fresh, and when he's like that, he has a lot of talent. We've seen it before, and I, for one, really hope that we keep Rafinha on Barcelona. He's a versatile player. He can play in midfield, he can play in the front 3, he can certainly chip in with goals, and I think throughout the season, Valverde could definitely find a place for him in the team, and he could be a real asset. And it was in the 34th minute, though, that SHAARAWY did level the scores, getting one back for Roma. It was inside the box, a very close range finish, not nearly pretty much a tap-in for SHAARAWY, but the work was done on the right-hand side from Kluivert, who was really, really impressive for Roma. He caused us a lot of problems down that right-hand side. I don't really think that Alex Vidal gave Cucurella a lot of cover, especially when you consider, Alex Vidal did used to be a defensive player. He does understand that role. I think he could have done a bit more to help Cucurella, who clearly was up against it with Kluivert today. And Cucurella did get out of position, he rushed towards the ball. Maybe he was a bit too eager to impress. He didn't win that duel. Kluivert got around him, but even then, Longley came across, Vidal was back there, but Kluivert evaded both of those players, got his ball into the box, and SHAARAWY was there to finish. And going into half-time, it was 1-1, but the players that we had out there absolutely dominated the game. We saw a lot of passing moves, we saw complete domination in midfield, we had about 74-76% possession against what like I say, is a very experienced Roma side. Edin Dzeko, SHAARAWY, Daniele De Rossi, Rossi in that midfield, Strootman as well, and even in the defence, Florenzi, Manolas. These are all players that played against us in the Champions League. This is one of Roma's best teams, bar a few players. So certainly in that first half, we dominated the play. I think Arthur, once again, I'd like to talk about him very briefly. He played for the first half, and again, we saw that composure, we saw that calmness, and he really does excite me in that midfield role, because he will always sort of wait and be calm and composed while he's looking for a pass. You can see him, he's always on the look, he's always eyeing up his options, and he always seems to rate the right option. He always seems to wait for exactly the right pass, the weight of it, and who to play it to. And I thought tonight that was on show again, alongside Sergio Roberto in that midfield, and Rafinha as well. They did make a very, very good trio. And then obviously in that second half, as it always is the case really with friendlies, you do lose a bit of your flow, a bit of your balance. There's a lot of changes that are introduced from Valverde. I think we started the first half, of course, with a very strong team, a pretty strong team with the players that we had available. And then in the second half, we saw a lot of Barcelona B players come on, players that obviously wouldn't have played on this kind of occasion before. They wouldn't really be used to playing with all of the first team players either in the Barcelona system under Ernesto Valverde. So it's kind of expected really that our performance did drop off in that second half, but it certainly didn't for Malcom, who stayed on from that first half. He played a part, of course, in the first goal, and he got his first Barcelona goal against Roma, of all clubs to get it against. Roma, of course, so close he was to joining them. It backfired at the last minute. We ended up getting our hands on him, and he scored against them tonight. It was a really good assist, though, by Bilal, the Barcelona B winger, who came on for that second half. He put it to the back post, and really, Malcom was there in the right place at the right time. He couldn't really miss, a very close range finish. But it was after that goal really that Malcom seemed to come to life, seemed to have some confidence. He was picking the ball up a lot more. He had a free kick which went very close. He had a good corner as well which he put into the box. Rafinha with a free header probably could have done better, and I think Malcom then really did involve himself in the game a lot more. He had a few shots from long range to the goalkeeper, and I was really impressed today with what I saw from Malcom in that second half period when he got his goal and afterwards. And he did play 63 minutes in total on the night, what was a good occasion for him. And like I say, there were a lot of changes. You know, the likes of Ricky Puig came on, Monchu, Bilal, there was Miranda as well who came on for Cucurella. Both of those players could be vying for that left back spot, which will be vacated by Lucas Digne. Abel Ruiz came on for Munir El Haddadi, who I think Abel Ruiz had a great chance in that second half. It was a really, really nice ball. It was played into him by Ricky Puig. It was good creative play. Abel Ruiz has got it in the box. He's one-on-one with the goalkeeper, and he just doesn't quite get enough on the finish. It's a good save from the goalkeeper, but Abel Ruiz, in that kind of situation, he's a striker. He'll want to be scoring there, and very, very unlucky. Carlos Perez as well came on for Malcom. George Cuenca came on at the centre of defence. Palencia as well for Longley. Many, many changes, disrupts your rhythm, disrupts your flow in the game, and it's no wonder really that the players that Roma brought on, the likes of Javier Pastore, Gonalons, Fazio, Kolarov, all very experienced players, completely different to the players that we brought on. And it's no wonder really that Roma did get themselves back in the game and get themselves really those late goals against what was a very youthful Barcelona side. It was Antonio Florenzi who basically hit us on the counter. It was another scrappy goal really that we conceded. We had a few of them against Tottenham like that. It was Roma on the counter-attack. They got too many men forward. We couldn't cope with it. It was cut back by Perotti into the path of Florenzi, and he scored with 78 minutes gone. And then just a few minutes later, Cristante scoring for Roma. That was his 7 minutes to go. And then Perotti getting Roma's fourth goal in what was really very, very undeserved. It was a penalty kick, 4 minutes from time. It made it Roma 4, Barcelona 2. But like I say, this is pre-season. It's all about getting up to speed. It's all about familiarising yourself with your team, with your new teammates, the new signings, settling in well. I was impressed with Malcom today. Arthur once again showing his qualities. I think Longley, you want to see him next to people who are established, next to Umtiti, next to Gerard Piqué, next to Jordi Alba. Right now he's really been thrown into the deep end, alongside, the likes of Marlon, Cucurella, players as well who are not experienced in the first team. I think Longley will certainly improve, and I think in general today we played well. Like I say, in that first half we had a lot of the ball, we dominated possession, we created chances. We've got a wonderful, wonderful first goal out there, and there were some very, very good individual performances as well. So overall tonight, guys, we have lost the game by 4 goals to 2, but onwards and upwards. Only our second pre-season game. There's a lot more to come from us, a lot more good things, and stay tuned for that. There will be more videos coming up. Leave your thoughts on tonight's game down below, and I will see you very, very soon indeed. Have a good sleep, guys, because I'm sure you've earned it. But until then, as always, Vesca el Barça.